everyone and welcome to Sparkling Autos. So in this video, as the title suggests, we're going to be applying Garage Therapy ceramic sealant to this, what appears to be a rather neglected Audi A6. Or Audi if you prefer. We're not here for linguistics lessons. Ooh, easy for me to say, ironically. But whatever you want to call it, it's not in great shape. Now in the owner's defence, I was supposed to do this car 4 or 5 weeks ago, but unfortunately things came up with work and other commitments, so we're only getting around to doing the car now. But the owner was happy enough to leave it, and for dramatic effect, I'm kinda glad he did. I'm sure you'll agree, look at these exterior shots, that this is pretty much as bad as it gets. But as I've said, the owner has deliberately allowed it to get like this. This is a car that's similar to my own, does a lot of motorway miles, and probably in excess of 25,000 miles a year, and gets parked up around sites and places where it's prone to getting covered in a lot of dust and debris. And for that reason alone, this car needs a good level of protection. So what we're going to do is get it cleaned up, get it decontaminated, and get some protection on there, which, as we've already said and in the title, is going to be Garage Therapy's 3 ceramic sealant. And for anyone familiar with the Garage Therapy range who's thinking, but what about Sigma? Well, don't worry, that's going to follow in a couple of weeks' time once we do the first maintenance wash on the car. But for now, we're just focusing on the application of the ceramic sealant. And unlike some of my previous videos, I'm not going to spend too long, 10-15 minutes going through the wash and decontamination process. It'll be a very quick flyover and we'll get stuck into the CS application. I'm going to have to talk fast to actually keep up here, so rinse the wheels down first, remove most of the loose debris, then spray the wheel with a non-acidic wheel cleaner, in this case EZ Viper, or Easy Viper, whatever you want to call it, at 1 to 9. Let it soak for a couple of minutes and then rinse it off again. This will remove 90-95% of what's actually on the wheel. Then I filled one of my newly customised buckets, thanks to Ray's Automotive, with Garage Therapy wheel shampoo, roughly 10ml to about 10-12 litres of water, which, as you can see, foams up more than enough to lubricate the brushes to go around the wheels. And remember to rinse the brushes out between dips into the bucket. Now for the tyres, I didn't have a dedicated tyre cleaner. I used, what do you call it? I'm losing this track already. Surfex HD at about 1 to 10. And as you can see from the dirt of the tyres, they hadn't been cleaned for a while, if ever. So they actually took 4 hits to get the foam to come up white. I'm losing my breath here. So that's one wheel done, and repeat the process on the other 3. So now on to the paintwork. Not much to say here, rinse most of the loose debris off with a pressure washer. You may notice my new hoodie, again supplied by Ray's Automotive. I'll put links below. I say supplied, I paid full price, but they were custom made with my channel logo on them. But as you can see, there's practically no protection whatsoever. A little bit of sheeting on the right hand side, nothing to get excited about. On to the pre-wash then, and ideally I would have used Garage Therapy's Zero Decon shampoo, but unfortunately I didn't have any left at this stage. So I've first of all gone around with a strong TFR and covered that with Bilthamer's Auto Foam at 4% PIR. If you're not sure what PIR is, if you click the link above, it'll explain everything. So after about 5 minutes, rinse that off, and this will remove most of the dirt from the car. And as you can see here on the right and left side of the vehicle, what I've done is just lightly sprayed it just to stop the product drying out while I rinse off the other parts. Just remember to be as thorough as possible when you're removing your pre-wash products, as you don't want to leave any soap stains on the paintwork. We're getting through this rightly here, so now we can move on to the contact wash. And as always, I wash the vehicle from top to the bottom using multiple mitts and my 2-bucket method. Not really much else to say, you've seen this in previous videos. Let's just get on with the next stage. So decontamination then, first thing I did was remove the tar, but there's not much to see removing tar from a black car, excuse the poetry. And then coated the car with a Garage Therapy Zero Iron Oxide, left that to dwell for 10 minutes, rubbed over it, and finally went over the car with clay bar using Garage Therapy 1 shampoo as lubricant. As you can now see, there's no protection whatsoever on the car, and we can proceed with the next stage. So if you thought the previous stages were quickly scanned over, this is going to be mind blowing. This is all I'm showing is one section of a panel, just to highlight that it is important to polish the car, particularly after you've clayed it and before applying your sealant. This will just give the sealant a better surface to bond to. You're leveling the clear coat and also removing any marring left by the claying process. Is all this essential? No, of course not, but if you want the sealant to last as long as possible, as with any protection product, preparation is absolutely key, and the more work you put into preparation, the longer it's going to last. So here we are, only 6.5 minutes into the video, and we're finally at the application process of the protection. First thing you need to do, which obviously I didn't show, was to prime the pad. So 3 or 4 squirts directly into the pad, and then 2 to 3 sprays depending on the size of the panel. So for the bootlet I've sprayed it twice, and then we go across with the applicator pad in a crosshatch pattern to ensure even coverage. Leave it then for 30 to 60 seconds. If it's cooler, leave it a bit longer. I know it sounds like I'm reading instructions off the bottle, but that's how you apply product, by going by the instructions. Then with a low pile microfiber cloth, spread the product evenly across. As you can see here, it isn't buffing the product off, it is just spreading it. Finally, once you've done that, go over it with a plush microfiber and buff it off to remove any residue. One thing you'll notice when using this product, and it's the same with Sigma and even the QD, is just how nice garage therapy products are to buff off. They're some of the slickest products I've ever used. So to contradict myself, I'm actually spraying the bonnet 4 times here, as you can see. However, this is to cover 2/3 of what is a rather large panel. Again, spread it in a cross-hatch pattern, and as you'll notice in my hands here, applying very little pressure to the applicator pad. You're just spreading the product over here at this stage. That's all we're doing, is to make sure there's an even coverage on the bonnet. You may notice yet more custom-made clothing here from Raise Automotive. I'm not in any way sponsored by Raise Automotive. I did buy these items, but I do like to support local businesses, and if you click the link below, it'll take you to the website where you'll find clothing, accessories, and also they've started doing a growing range of detailing products. Now there's nothing in that for me, it's not an affiliate link, I don't have any discount codes or anything like that. I just think it's good for a community to support each other, and I think with Raise Automotive going the direction they are, I just want to offer them as much support as I possibly can. But back to the job in hand. So as you can see on the other side of the bonnet, I just needed the 2 sprays, and again just spreading the product over evenly. There may be a slight overlap, but of course that's what you want to do. You want to overlap the product because you don't want to miss any sections out. As before, once we've given it the 30 to 60 seconds bonding time, we'll go over with the short pile microfiber cloth and evenly spread the product out. And as with the application, don't apply too much pressure at this stage. You're not trying to buff anything, you're just even the product out and ensure that no areas are left unprotected. When you're happy that the product's evenly sprayed, go over again with a high pile plush microfiber cloth. And the cloths I'm using today, which are generally my first choice for doing this kind of work, are from SGCB UK, and I'll put a link below to their website. These cloths are really good value for money, and I find them excellent for this type of work. And if you're watching this whilst eating, I strongly suggest you look away now. So that covers the large panels, but what about the smaller ones? Now the wing here, for example, probably could have done with 1 spray, but I've used 2 anyway, just getting overzealous with the trigger. And just the same process, just spread it across in a cross hatch pattern as much as you can, and just ensure that you get into all your crevices and bends and things. And again, wait your 30 to 60 seconds, which you see me doing here in the reflection, looking into the camera at the clock. Spread it over evenly, and once you've finished doing that, just again buff it off. It really is a very easy product to apply and to get a good finish with, or a good level of protection, should I say. It's just a matter of taking your time and doing 1 panel at a time. There's no point trying to rush through the car. Get your prep work done, make sure the car's thoroughly dried off, and then just go over it 1 panel at a time with the 1, 2, 3 stages. So prime the pad, minimal amount of sprays to cover the panel, spread it evenly across, leave it to bond for 30 to 60 seconds, then spread it again to level it out, and buff it off. That's all you need to remember. As you can see here, the gloss levels are starting to increase already on the wing, but that will really be amplified in the next video when we look at applying the Garage Therapy Sigma. But we'll come to that in a couple of weeks' time. For this video we're looking at the ceramic sealant, and what I would also do is, after you've applied it, wait for an hour and apply a second coating. You don't have to, but it is going to give that extra protection. Should also mention at this stage that off camera the tyres were treated with Garage Therapy 1 tyre serum, and I'll have an extensive video coming up on that product within the next couple of months. I'm just in the middle of a long-term test with it, so I'd rather get conclusive results before I give my review or opinion on that, because it is a long-term product, so I'd rather do a long-term review. So as we can see now, obviously the car looking significantly better, but more important than that is the car has a really good level of protection on it. 2 coats of the Garage Therapy ceramic sealant, as well as the tyres being treated to Garage Therapy tyre serum. Unfortunately, as you can see from such a long day doing this, the lighting has kind of let me down towards the end, but that's not really relevant because, as I've said, there will be a follow-up video in a couple of weeks' time where we'll apply the Garage Therapy Sigma as a topper, and I'll explain more about that at the time. Obviously, if you'd like to see that and you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot. And if you did enjoy this video, please press the thumbs up and leave any comments below, positive or negative, and I'll reply to them as soon as possible. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care.